Hello, humans on all the spectrums. I am Ryan.
And I am Ryan's brother Dan, and we are The Way of the Leaf.
Today we're going to be talking about the Wheel of Time series by Amazon Prime.
And specifically, we are giving our top 5 changes from the book that we liked best.
Yes, indeed. This show has become known for the many changes they have made to the 14-book series written by Robert Jordan. And we are now going to list our top 5 favorite changes made to the series. Brother Dan, do you know what this means?
I think I do, Ryan, but I first need to let everyone know that this video will have spoilers for the first book of the Wheel of Time called The Eye of the World. And now it's time for another edition of List Off!
All right, re-rolled the dice, and I am going first. My number 5 change to the Wheel of Time that I appreciated the most is the addition of Dana. Yes, Dana is a Dark Friend character that does not appear in either of the books, but I think she provides a very effective introduction to like this ultimate danger that our characters are facing. She gained their trust very skillfully and basically outmatched them in every way and had to be saved by Tom, which is a great introduction to Tom and his abilities. But yeah, I think that including Dana was a really effective way to show that our characters are not safe, will never be safe until I guess they figure this all out, and that everyone might be a Dark Friend.
Dana's a good example, Ryan. I like that. That's a good way to start. My number 5 favorite change from the book to the show is the way the show handled romantic relationships. In the book, Rand and Egwene had a relationship based more on history and family expectation rather than passion, in my eyes. And the two rivers are always talking about stealing kisses and such. In the show, whether it's Rand and Egwene or Nynaeve and Lan, or Perrin being married to Layla, or even Matt showing some game in the Wine Spring Inn, these characters are all physically and emotionally more mature than the books show. And I feel it was a great change, and as such is my number 5 favorite change from the books to the show.
Well, that harkens to one of my later choices. Dan, how dare you, you Dark Friend? But yeah, I do agree that they handled relationships very well, much better than they handled relationships in The Eye of the World, for sure. For my number 4 change that I like the most, I want to talk about how they were able to depict the dangers of the addictive qualities of using Saidar in the last battle. They always refer to Saidar as having this addictive quality. It felt too good to be true to hold it, and it always had a reluctance to let go of it. Queen Amelise burns out because she cannot resist. She cannot let go of the blissful nature of holding that much Saidar. She talks about being able to see colors and hear sounds. In the books, we get a description of the Manethrin speech, and we hear about Queen Aldrine burning herself out, but that was out of grief for her husband dying. It was not out of this addictive quality. I really liked how they were portraying that, and I think it'll have effects down the line in the series for Amazon, because you will have to strategically deal with this reality, and they showed it so well. So I hope this comes again in further episodes.
I must have just been channeling, because I too can see color and hear sounds.
That's the way I like you.
Ryan, my number 4 change that I really liked the most was the overall diversity shown on screen. A wonderful variety of cast members of different races and ethnicities. There was an array of sexual preferences. When I read the books as a younger puppet, characters were generally, in my head, white and cisgendered, unless otherwise noted. But in the show, we have a society where these traits are far more normalized and accepted and are hardly noteworthy. And for that reason, I think this change from the book is wonderful, and it is my number 4 favorite change in the series.
I agree with that 100%. My 3rd favorite change the showrunners made from the books is their decision to create a more intimate and deeper relationship between Rand and Egwene. In the books, they felt betrothed, but there's this innocence and chaste quality to the relationship. This was consistent with the characters as Robert Jordan introduced them. However, I always felt that as the relationship progressed and events that will later transpire, which I will not talk about, it had less of an impact. And I never really felt it as much as I think I am feeling what's going on with these characters in episode 1. Literally, Rand is facing off with the Dark One, and he was able to suss out that the Dark One in episode 8, in that dream sequence, was tricking him because he knew Egwene did not want that life, did not want to be a farm wife. She wanted to go be an Aes Sedai in the White Tower. He wanted her to have that agency. So their relationship actually ended up being an actual plot driver, which I think is really cool and was really well done.
Yep, we're both on the same page there. Rand and Egwene really, their relationship really bumped up what was going on in the show and made it more palpable what their relationship actually was than the books. Good call, Rand. My number 3 change that I most like from the books to the show is Lan. I know. Even I was a bit skeptical at first when I first met Daniel Henney's rendition. I mean, my Lan is stone face. My Lan has a face of all planes and angles. My Lan has a water cloak. However, this softer, more charismatic Lan has grown on me, Ryan. I liked him with Steppen. I liked him with Nynaeve. I liked him hanging out with a family for a meal. I liked his buns. What?
There we go.
This emotional, spiritual, sexy Lan who likes warm baths has become for me a positive over the book. And it is for me my third pick for my favorite change in the series.
That's great. I definitely was going to jump in and say, if you don't mention his buns, you're being disingenuous.
Nope. Liked his buns.
Awesome. My second favorite change that Rafe Judkins and the showrunners made to the books was to show us the events of Winter's Night. I've always wanted to see what transpires there. The books show us a very different perspective as we follow Rand's journey with his father, and we only see the aftermath. By showing us the events of Winter's Night, we see just how formidable the opponent is. There is a gruesomeness. It was jarring, and I thought it was super effective that in showing us what our young group is going up against. And we got to see really Moiraine and Lan working together in synchronicity with their powers. I loved how there is a choreography there that I did not expect. It's something I always wanted in the books, and they're showing it, and I hope they continue to portray that as effectively.
Ryan, I like that. That was almost on my list. Ryan, my number 2 favorite change from the books to the show is Logain. In the books, we first meet Logain when Rand sees the Aes Sedai procession taking the captive Logain to see the Queen in Andor. All of his terror and mischief before his capture is all done off page, like Winter Night. But in the show, we get to see the powerful menace that Logain is. First in his capture and recruitment of the King of Gheldon, and in his murder of an Aes Sedai, and later when his meeting with the Amyrlin Sea. His inclusion into the storyline early on has been a great choice for the series, and as such is my number 2 change.
As such, yeah, I considered that as well. Great choice. The cold opening of Gheldon was well done, and our non-readers were really, really interested in that. Wait till you hear my number 1, brother Dan.
Well, yeah, we're at the number 1 now, guys. Yeah!
I am concerned that you might have the same one as mine because I've not heard it yet. So let's puppet fingers crossed.
All right.
What voice is that? All right. My number 1 change to the books that I appreciate most is the addition of Matt's backstory. Meeting his mom and his lecherous dad, seeing his impact on his younger siblings, getting to see his undivided love towards his sister, basically giving him a Robin Hood-like motivation for his misdeeds was a very compelling way to involve Matt. And I think it was a better version than what we got in the books. In the books, Matt was cruel to animals. He had many negative attention-seeking behaviors, basically. And he was like the Bugs Bunny of the Eye of the World, where he was just doing things wrong, but you gotta love him. It never worked for me. So to bring back the broken home, poverty element to his backstory, I thought really created a sympathetic character that I felt most people really connected to.
Ryan, that is a good point. I did not have Matt's family, but I did enjoy that little slice of life into his hardships. My number one favorite change that the show made from the books is Swan and Moraine. So in the book, we're told that Swan and Moraine were friends, that they were novices and accepted together. There was hints that there may have been a relationship and that they shared secrets about Rand and the Prophecy of the Dragon. And that's about it. Everything that they had relationship-wise, besides being trusting friends, was well into the past. But with the show's choice to show them in an active, passionate relationship with depth and love, while this may be frowned upon in a lot of HRs, this was a wonderful change to show two powerful women in an intimate, vulnerable relationship was brave and vital, and it put on display things that Robert Jordan necessarily only hinted at in his books. This choice to have Swan and Moraine being a loving, tragic relationship, to me, is the number one change the show made from the books. So guys, that's our list of the top 5 changes that the show made from the books. Who do you think won? Ryan had his list, which was formidable. I had my list. I'm sure you have your list as well. So let us know in the comments what we did not choose and who you think had the best list of the best changes. Please like and subscribe to this video and our channel. We have a Patreon that we would love for you to join if you'd like to support us. We do shows every week. We do live streams. They are fun. We're all over the place. So whenever you see handsome puppets, it may not be us, but we're the other puppets that are quite not so handsome.
Middle-aged.
We're middle-aged puppets.
We're dad-bod puppets. Oh, and as always, run for your lives, because this is the way to
leave.
You sounded Italian right there.
Way to leave. Let's go. Run for your lives.
No, you sound such a man.
Just it.
Now you're going Scottish?
Now I'm Welsh.
Is there a difference?
Oh, Welsh has like 30-letter words.
Oh. All right, they just like clear their throat 2 times within one word.
It's like, and it means like the bog by the tree near the fence over the hill.
Yeah, you can just imagine just phlegm like flying out of their mouths as they're talking. Lung cookie, lung cookie, lung cookie.
Right. But you know what? They have enormous core strength from all those gutturals. It tightens every time they say the word.
Yeah. Do you think they have stronger gag reflexes?